Welcome to the Produce Moms Podcast, where we believe there is a produce mom in all of us. I'm Lori Taylor, founder and CEO of the Produce Moms. For 10 years, I sold fresh produce to over 300 grocery stores in the U.S. And today, my team and I are fully focused on inspiring people to eat more fruits and vegetables. This show is just one of the ways that we hope to inspire you and your family to eat more produce and live a better life. If you like what you're hearing on the podcast, join our community of almost 40,000 in all 50 states and over 30 countries by visiting theproducemoms.com/subscribe. And be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes. Thanks for being here. Enjoy today's show. Welcome back, everyone. Today is a very special edition of the Produce Moms Podcast. We have a woman whose work I have frankly just admired for a long time. We are welcoming to the show today Sylvia Klinger. Sylvia is a registered dietitian. She is the founder of HispanicNutrition.com, and she is going to share a wealth of information with us today about her journey as a business owner, a registered dietitian, an author, a real industry thought leader as it relates to Hispanic nutrition. And I think you all are going to be quite inspired when you learn more about the consumption behaviors and patterns, and as well as just the importance of fresh produce as it relates to Hispanic culture and cuisine. So, Sylvia, thank you for being our guest today, and welcome to the Produce Moms Podcast.
Thank you, Laurie. Such a pleasure, and definitely something that I take in my heart. So it's a great topic that I like to share with the public, especially when it comes to Latinos and eating fruits and vegetables. I can't think of anything more exciting. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, thank you. Yeah, I have a real spot in my heart and soul for all things Hispanic, Latino culture. I lived in Mexico for a while. I lived in Cuba for a while. I majored in Spanish in college. So this is just
wow.
Yeah, and I actually got my start in fresh food, working at the sales desk, targeting Mexican grocery stores as our new business vertical at Indianapolis Fruit Company back when I was employed in the supply chain. So
wow.
It kind of comes full circle for me today. Welcome to the podcast. And when I say I've been keeping an eye on your work and admiring what you do, that comes from the heart. I really think that what you do, Sylvia, is important. And I look forward to sharing your passion and your knowledge with all of our listeners today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. So let's go ahead and start, let's start with that passion. I mean, you have several credentials, as I mentioned during your intro today: registered dietitian, you are a successful business owner, you are an acclaimed author. Where does your passion come from?
Well, I think, it comes a long way. My mother was a dietitian too, so I think that had an influence on myself, but also seeing my grandmother cook and seeing, our travels as little kids. My parents were missionaries for 10 years, and seeing my mom help people make bread and, how to eat more fruits and vegetables and make them with a little bit, a little more healthy. It was always, such a thing that I looked at them then, and they don't really have a lot of meaning until later on when I was in high school, that I really started to, look around and how to develop menus. And I was watching some of my classmates getting to a little bit more nutrition, and it really sparkled a light bulb that I have never shut down. It's been a passion, something that I totally do it with a lot of empathy, compassion, love for the people, and to really make this journey easier, but at the same time, healthy and very delicious as well. So it's something that I try to put it all together to really make these families embrace them and take that autonomy to really be in charge of making these delicious meals easy, inexpensive, at the same time, highly nutritious and delicious, because that's on top of everything.
Right. Yeah. Que rico, right?
Muy rico, muy rico.
No, I love it. I love that this is essentially something that you personally identify with. It sounds like your passion was inherited in a way, but you've taken it to a whole new level for your family and for your, long-lasting legacy that you are building right now. So why let's dive a little bit more into the culture aspect of what you do, because one thing that I always say, and if you listen to, previous podcast episodes or any media that I do, I often say food is culture. Food is the universal love language. So let's take that a step further, just as you have with your business model. Why are you so hyper-focused on the Latino community?
Yes. And I think, because once you understand a culture, you live and breathe that culture with your own family, with your relatives, you kind of understand where we're coming from in a lot of levels when it comes to health and nutrition. And, what makes nutrition challenging is that it's so individual. And then you take this cultural aspect of something that has been engraved in our DNA for hundreds of years, how we congregate, how we celebrate. Food is what glue us together. And I think for Latinos, it takes it to another level of gluing the family together. I mean, when you think about it, you lived in Mexico and you know that even though, even in the United States, we also have food for a lot of celebrations. But in the Latino community, that's all we have. This is our main bread and butter for everything we do, whether it be a quinceañera or a wedding, a graduation. Everything is centered around the food. So how you take that to the level of not overdoing and not going overboard of something that means so much to us and is all we have to offer our people that we love, and how we do it in a way that is productive, effective, healthy, nutritious, and still keeping on with the cultural celebrations and the joy that comes with breaking bread together at the table, which is something that we do since, we were born, basically. Yeah. And that's what I think it makes it challenging, but at the same time is respecting those moments that are so special and taking them one step at a time to the next level and the next level until we still keep those joyful celebrations, but we also teach them how to be mindful with their portions, with everything they put in their mouth, not to be hyper conscious, but just mindful that, everything we put in our bodies, we need to know that it's not going to be all perfect, of course, but that we need to be sensitive to the things that maybe are higher calories, lower nutrition value, and do more of the things that have higher nutritional value. And not so many calories as well, but how we nourish our bodies, because we need to put in more of that, and then just a little bit of the other indulgent items that, of course, we're humans, we're going to celebrate with those, but we need to be sharing those and putting them in smaller little portions.
Right. Yeah, no, it's really good, and it's really important. And because food is so so at the helm of what the Hispanic community identifies with, and how, Latinos live really every single moment in life, whether it's a joyful moment, a sad moment, or otherwise, food is really absolutely the center of every gathering, and especially with this culture. Nielsen shopper data also tells us, those of us in the food supply chain and, marketers and researchers, Nielsen data tells us that the Hispanic community is coming into the grocery store and is shopping, filling their basket with more fresh produce than other shopper demographics. So let's talk a little bit more about what you think some of the primary barriers are, because we're certainly getting them into the stores with more frequency than other demographics. And then also we're seeing more of a gravitation towards fruits and vegetables than some of our other shopper demographics. But there are still challenges. And what have you come to learn with your expertise in your business about these challenges? What are they? Accessibility, education, something else?
Yeah, so that's a really good point. And let me just back up a little bit, just to piggyback on what you were saying about the Latino statistics. I mean, that Hispanics shop the most. They spend the most money of their income, even though it's not higher income, but most of their income is spent on foods at this grocery store. And then, of course, more fruits and vegetables, because they cook more at home as well, because of the celebration. We have more people, our families are bigger as well. So then, of course, we spend more money. That actually adds to to the picture as well, that we're just not shopping for 2, 3, 4 people. We're shopping for maybe 10, 8, 15 people at every meal, not just for one celebration. So this is the norm here. And then another thing is too, that we love to cook. We see cooking, while Americans maybe see cooking and shopping as a chore, we saw it as a joy. This is a joy for us. Now, where the challenges come more than in the number one challenge, one is variety. We want them to have more variety on their diet. So not just to buy the same things over and over. You go to Puerto Rico and all you see is a slice of tomato with the iceberg lettuce. You know, we want to build upon what we already like and add, you know, you have a sandwich, put a slice of, I love my grilled cheese with a slice of pear. I love to, have variety. One day I might have, a chili that is vegetarian, built with more fruits and vegetables, or maybe like using a little bit of the soy curls or something like that. Try to do things, or a little bit of tofu or tempeh or and more vegetables. So I want to make it vegetarian or even vegan. But at the same time, we need to also be mindful of the portions, because I think that's the number one challenge with our communities, is that we think, well, that's good, then just let's overdo it. And of course, for me, fruits and vegetables, you can just, unless you have diabetes or some other condition that doesn't allow you, for me, that's your freebies. You can indulge a little bit on fruits and veggies, because that is built, full with antioxidants. And I can think of a more important fruit and vegetable that important. When I say give me the number one tip for my health, I say more fruits and veggies by any means. If you're going to build or something, build it on fruits and vegetables, because it's going to, we can cut heart disease. The benefits are just on and on and on. Heart disease, cancer, obesity, and I can go on and on. So that's for me like the plate foundation for our plates. But then, it's how we prepare things sometimes that we get into trouble. It's the friends that we built around. Let's say, plain rice is only, going to give us it's going to give us some nutrients. It's going to give us some carbohydrates, whatever. Fruits along will give us, fiber and magnesium, potassium, folate, all these other things. But it's when we start, deep frying and putting a lot of salt or a lot of sugar, that's when we get into trouble. And then if our portions are bigger, which they're so easy to do, then, and especially when you're in the Hispanic family table. If you think about it, I don't have to go very far. I go to my aunt's house and she makes my favorite flan. And, of course, it's not, my flan has a lot of fruits in there. I make it with a little bit of coconut. I put in slice of, strawberries and pumpkin or whatever the occasion. I might add something to boost the nutrition value of something, in any opportunity that I have. But that's not the case in my aunt's flan. It's the typical, recipe that they don't want to vary. And then she wants me to eat the whole entire thing. And God forbid I say no, and I have to beg with her and say, let me just take the rest home, please. I beg you, my family would love to see this.
It's very true. I was just recently I was in Costa Rica with Del Monte Fresh Produce, and we went to a restaurant one evening and I ordered, a sensible meal like ahi tuna, rice, vegetables, delicious, fresh, very balanced. And but the serving portion was enormous. So I ate about half of my meal, and the chef came out from the restaurant worried that something was wrong. And I was like, it's fine. The meal was delicious. I just can't finish it. But you're right. It is very much part of that Latino.
Yes.
You clean your plate. It's what you do. And
exactly.
Yeah.
And, and sometimes we grab, for example, we have a fruit and we immediately want to make it into a cobbler, into a pie, and nothing wrong with that by any means. But for me, there is nothing more delicious than just slicing that fruit, those peaches or strawberries or whatever it might be, the edamame, eating your vegetables, just with a little, just steam with a teeny bit of seasonings on top. There's nothing more joyful than eating them in the most natural state that you can possibly have it, instead of spending all this elaborate time making it. Now, if you're adding it to a soup or omelets or sandwich, by any means, that's beautiful. But if you have an opportunity just to grab them, that's something that I try to do with my kids. I have my two adult college age kids, and, they come from school, every opportunity I had the fruit in front of them, slice or vegetables, edamame, or I have, nuts or something, that they can munch a little bit the minute they came home. And of course, in little bowls, not big bowls, little bowls. So and I call it my mini diet. I love it. I have collected all these little tiny dishes that I think are so cute and so beautiful. And I put in there these little items, Of course, I put a bigger bowl for the fruits and the veggies because I want to eat more of that. But if it comes to nuts or other things that might have a little more calories, but it's still nutritious, I might put them in a smaller bowl. Now, if my kids have gone soccer, they come back from gymnastics and they're, they want something more substantial, I might give them a bigger portion then, because they have, they need a little more nutrients and more calories into their diet after that workout. But again, we have to be conscious. And for me, of course, it comes so easy. I've been practicing this for over 30 years, but this is why I'm so passionate to really share with all of you these little tips. And even I made a little book that is called The Simple Eating, because my son, who's 21, said, "Mom, would you put all those tips in a little book so I can take it to college?"
Well, that's great. So let's talk about that a little bit. What are some of these quick and easy tips that you've included in the book, or that you hold as part of your, company culture as you do?
And of course, as it comes to fruit and vegetables, because it's easy for us to eat other things, in the plate, but it's fruits and vegetables, especially vegetables, how you eat them, I think is so, I say, quick, like a smoothies. For me, that's one of the greatest ways, or juicing things, one of the greatest ways to add more veggies and not, and kind of put that in there in soups, how you put them into, any opportunity you have, whether it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, every meal occasion, you want to incorporate fruits and veggies, whether it be the omelette, whether it be the toast, the avocado. These are things that are so delicious. Avocado, I built menus for in schools, and they're amazed, like, wow, why can we didn't think of this? Like, for example, a snack that we love is like sticks of cucumber and jicama. Okay, jicama. Jicama because you lived in Mexico. It's that white, fruit that is
absolutely.
It's kind of hard inside, kind of looks like a potato, but it's very watery, and you can kind of eat. You don't have to cook it. You could just eat it, peel it and eat it raw. So we do cucumbers with jicama sticks, and then we put a little lime juice. Oh my, it is a great snack. It's that, or cucumbers, with the little rice vinegar, with some tomatoes on the side. Little things like that, just adding a little bit to make it like a little more of what I call it, the next level of yumminess. You want to wow people with fruits and veggies. And that's always been my goal, that the food that they want to just eat the most is that one that has the most nutrients. And that's always my trick. And there is something indulgent. In my tips, it's like, share it with people, put it in mini portions, instead of making the fly in a big tray, make it in smaller little portions, those cute little things on garage sales and your whatever, those seconds hand shops where you can go buy those cute little things.
I love that tip.
Where you can put the more indulgent items. But, I think for kids, I can't think of a better time to incorporate these tips that when they're young. My kids now, like I said, my daughter is 24 and my son is 21. And I just, it is my greatest joy. I get teary every time I see them, and I see them always eating so well and asking me to make these delicious things, and look at the recipe I made, and look what I did. And I just get so overjoyed seeing them make those choices, because we started this since they were little. Take them to the supermarket, show them, let them smell. Like when we peel an orange, we always keep one little bit of the peels so we can smell it throughout the, when we're in the car or something, because those smells really bring you so much, relaxation when you're biting into something that has so much flavor, like a citrus. You're peeling that orange. Oh, I love peeling oranges and seeing that, that aroma popping in. I want them to experience these things of eating good food, but for all the good reasons. So I said, this is good for your nail. This is good for your eyes. This is good for your bones. And building that knowledge that is really not hard to get, but you got to get it from the right sources, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. A lot of misinformation, especially when it comes to fruits and veggies. There's a lot of fear going on starting from the farms.
Right. And I want to get to that. And before I ask you a question about that exact topic, I must say, Sylvia, we've had an opportunity to talk to a lot of people who are passionate about fresh produce here on this podcast. And the way this conversation, you have so much passion with what you're talking about, but you really just take it a step further and you really connect fruits and vegetables in such a culturally forward way. I think this is why I have fallen in love with your work. And after listening to you speak so passionately and eloquently about what you do and how it's beyond just consuming nutritionals. This is providing you with, mood boosting scents and, an opportunity for fantastic nails and all these things where I'm like, wow, Sylvia really is so culture forward. There is so much love behind what you do. And I love that. Like, it really, listening to you speak is very heartwarming. And I'm sure our listeners right now feel the same way. So let's now get right back into that topic about these myths surrounding farming and surrounding fruits and vegetables. The myths, the propaganda that's out there, the people who are promoting their personal beliefs instead of fact. It is certainly a point of motivation for me to do what I do at the Produce Mom.
Yes.
And, after examining your work and preparing for today's show, it's certainly a passion point for you as well.
Absolutely. And I have had the fortune of visiting, a number of farms from the West Coast to the East Coast to the middle, North Dakota, all of it, you name it. And even in some of the countries too. And I tell you, Lori, there's nothing more gratifying for me than seeing those farmers work every day. I mean, I take my hat off every day. I buy into a fruit or vegetable. In fact, we were in California a week and a half ago with my daughter. She had a spring break. And we went out there and we were looking at the strawberry fields. And I go, honey, take a look at that farmer who's planting. Most fruits and vegetables are planted and picked by hand, okay? Remember that. She's a school teacher. She's going to be a school teacher. So I say, remember this as you're teaching those children about farming. Look at all those people in the farms, line up, picking, bending over, picking. Okay. So when I hear the public saying all the things that we're doing to our land, I say, oh, please stop. Do not bring that fear into our plate, because there's farmers. I mean, are the number one people that want to take care of their land. I mean, there might be people out there that might not be doing something right, but I'm telling you, 99.9% probably are farmers. This is their family. This is everything they have. How will not they take care of their land? I don't understand how people have twisted that. But seeing those farmers and the pickers and people who are planting it all by hand, most of it, it's unbelievable work. And I say to people, the nutritional value is the same. We're not here to say this is better than the other. No, people. They all have the same nutritional value. They're all sustainable. They're all, grown with the same most best practices the farmer can get that is best for him, for his land, that he owns it, and what's best for you as well, because they consume that. And for me, it's like, just eat and then, if we think about how little fruits and vegetables our communities are eating, when we think about the whole entire, let's say United States, what is it, 1.5 servings a day, maybe?
I know that over 90% of our United States population is not getting the recommended amount of fruits and vegetables on a daily basis.
Hello, exactly. So I said, when you eating your recommended amount of servings, then we can go back and kind of think about other things. But for right now, we're not even enough of what we need to be eating. So that's my number one concern. I said, you know what? There's a bigger fish to fry out there concerning other foods, alcohol and other things that maybe are not as healthy for our bodies. I said, when it comes to fruits and vegetables, people, we need to eat more of them. Okay. And there is no doubt that the benefits far outweigh any little risk of anything, because, there is risk on everything that we do. I step out of my house, I can fall, I go in my car, we're on our phones. I mean, everything that we live and breathe, we're taking a risk. But when it comes to fruits and vegetables, the risk of not eating them is far greater. than eating the fruits and vegetables that we need to eat. So the risk is so far lower. The problem is not eating them. That's where we get into trouble for this chronic disease.
Yep, it's very true. You know what I always say here at the Produce Moms is one thing we always preach to our community is, hey, the produce department is a guilt-free zone.
Exactly. I love that. I love it. I love it. There should be a big sign on the produce department saying, this is a guilt-free zone, people. Come in here and load up your carts. Because you know what? This is what's going to give you the energy, the longevity, the vitality that you're looking for. That's where you can find most of it. Let me tell you that. That's where it's coming from. And when people look at me, you know, I am 56 years old. How I do it all every day, I said, because my plate is full with those fruits and vegetables. How I look so good, that collagen in those strawberries and citrus and stuff. That's what I'm filling my body with the things that really are nourishing, you know, my nails, my skin, my hair, my eyes, my muscles. All that comes into play by having this variety of fruits and vegetables along with others. But the foundation of my plate come from fruits and veggies, because that's the vitality. That's what mostly is coming from.
That's amazing. And it's, you know, this has been a true joy of a conversation here on my end. Sylvia, you are just full of passion, and that vitality, that fruit and vegetable powered vitality is alive within you. You are a powerhouse. So thank you for your time today, for sharing a little bit more about the work that you do. We do have a tradition here at the Produce Moms podcast where we throw the mic back to our guests for the final closing remarks. Please tell our listeners where they can go to connect with your work. Tell them your website or otherwise, and any closing thoughts that you might have for our listeners today.
I say enjoy, you know, every bite of the fruits and vegetables, and learn how to make them, you know, as less time consuming as possible. The crispiness, the flavors, enjoy. And then just like rip the benefits of all of them. And really, if you want to connect with me, HispanicNutrition.com is my website. I have, like I said, that little book, and I've written a lot of things, but you know, there's a lot of information in there that you can access at any time. And really just connect, email me. I love talking with people. And like, you know, Lori said, this is my passion. This is my love. I will share with you whatever I can to share my power that I can help you with. So I'm your servant. I'm here to serve you and to help you any way I can.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Produce Moms podcast. If you or someone you know would like to be a featured guest, just send an email to lori@theproducemoms.com. We know there is a produce mom in you because there's a produce mom in all of us. Join our community on Facebook and all social platforms. Help us change the way America eats. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.